It says we're live, so let me close this out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kasie Oswald, and I am here with Teacher Paige. Hey, Paige, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
As you can see, he has his intro ready to go. Go ahead, Paige.
All right, here we go.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? Hi, Kermit.
I love to read Harry Potter books. Swish and flick. I love teaching children just like you. So I hope to see you soon in Teacher Paige's classroom. Welcome to VIPKid. Bye-bye. And there you go. There's my intro. Dun, dun, dun.
Paige, I love your intro. When did you make that?
Probably when I was getting ready to get started. I was just starting to experiment with the green screen.
Uh-huh.
And the only downside of it is, as you can tell, I don't do green screens now. I mean, this is my backdrop. That's it. Now, because I couldn't make green screens work really well in the VIP classroom, VIPKid classroom. So I'm hoping parents don't get disappointed that, oh, he's got talking frogs, and then I get this.
But you make your Kermit talk in classes.
Kermit comes out to play every night.
Hi, Kermit.
Hello. Hi, Kasie. How are you?
Hey, Kermit.
Okay, I'm going to go now.
Okay, so Paige, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I was born in a log cabin I helped my father to build, and my mother left home before I was born, so I never really knew her. No, that's not true.
Paige.
No, my name is Paige. I'm sorry. My name is Paige. I live in a little town in Georgia called Dallas, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And I'm a professional musician, teacher. And I got married to my high school sweetheart in 1976. And here we are 43. Oh, wait. Almost 44 years later. I better get that number right. Married almost 44 years later, and she still hasn't kicked me out of the boat. So for the win.
Wow. She
Yeah.
sounds like a great lady.
Wow, she's patient. But I was in the Navy for 16 years. I was a Navy musician. I graduated from Armed Forces School of Music. And then I went on to become an electronics engineer. And then I got out of the Navy in Charleston, South Carolina, and moved to Atlanta and got into the tech industry. And 9/11 hit, everything went belly up. I lost my job. And so I did the only thing I've ever done in my life without talking with God about first, because this was such a sure deal that I didn't need any of God's help. And you know how this story is going to end, right? I started a video production company, sank all my retirement savings into it, and lost it all in 6 months. Oh, yeah, it was rough. So I went into bankruptcy, and in the middle of all that, I started teaching guitar, and I hadn't played guitar for 20 years. So I started teaching guitar. I went to a music store and said, "Can I be a guitar teacher?" Didn't tell them that I hadn't played for 20 years. They said, "Sure, but we don't have any students for you." I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to sit my backside back there in the guitar section. I'll answer all their questions, point them to the guitars that'll be good for them, and just give me first run at them for students." And then I went back there and sat in the guitar section and went through every guitar book that guitar store owned so I could learn how to play guitar again.
Wow.
And so I started doing that, and it started taking off a little bit. And I got a really good offer for at Hewlett Packard. And I asked my wife about it, and she said it was going to pay $75,000 a year. I asked my wife, what do you think? She said, by the way, in this period of time, this 6-month period of time, I lost my job, started a new company, went bankrupt. My son and his wife had just gotten married and moved in with us. Be careful about that. And then my father died, all in the same 6-month period. It was like, and my dad was like my North Star, right? So my wife said, "Well, I'm going to ask you the question your dad would ask you." She said, "If you knew that tomorrow you were waking up to go to work at Hewlett Packard, what does your gut feel like? I said, I want to throw up. She said, all righty then. She
There's
says,
your
we've been
answer.
poor before. The kids are on their own. We've been poor before. We're poor now.
Mhm.
You've always wanted to know what could happen if you could what would happen if you could make a life out of music. Let's find out. And that was back in 2001
Okay.
and 2002. And we have been going the whole hog. My wife has also became a private lesson teacher. I teach private guitar, ukulele, music theory, music composition, and all that in the Metro Atlanta area. And we've been totally self-employed for the last 20 years. And every day we just pinch ourselves because we just can't believe. I mean, I got a house. I got 2 cars that are paid for.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, right. That's like really weird.
Yeah,
I'm used to having a lot of bills. I did. But it's not work if you love what you do.
Right. Did you say your wife plays too? Is that what you said?
Yes. All right, our story, she was a choir girl, and she was like a bombshell, blonde, blue-eyed, Scandinavian girl in the choir. I saw her at a music festival, and my eyes fell out of my head. And I said, oh, I got to take her out. So I did what I was used to doing. I pulled my guitar out and started playing because pretty girls would show up when you play your guitar. And then I would always pick the prettiest girl and go out with them. Well, I picked up my guitar, and she just looked up at me and got up and left the room. So I followed her to the next room because, she must be mistaken. She doesn't know what she's passing up here. Played my guitar again, and this time she folded up her lunch bag and gave me that look that only you women have. You can cast that look across the room and nail somebody with it. She gave me that look, just staring at me while she just folded her bag. And she walked out of the room again. Well, then I find myself inadvertently sitting behind her at a concert, a recital we had to go to. And I turned to my friends, let's go get something to eat. She turned around and says, well, I've got some vanilla wafers. Would you like some? Well, now she'd kicked me to the curb twice. And in typical high school fashion, I was so much more dramatic about it than life needed to be. Turned out she wasn't even paying attention to me. She was ignoring me entirely. I made no impression on her, bad or good. But I said, no, would you like a hamburger? And then her response, which took her 35 years to tell me what she meant, was, no, I'm on a diet. I'll take a milkshake, though. I went, so for the next 35 years, I wondered, I'd ask her occasionally, what the milkshake? What's
right?
She says, oh, silly boy, you thought you were pursuing me? Yeah, so we've been married for, it'll be 44 years this June. And I finally know what the milkshake comment was. She says, look, if a girl's shoving a big, fat, greasy hamburger in her face, that's just not attractive. But you can sip demurely on a milkshake, and you're going to have ultimately more calories than a hamburger ever will have, but it's much more acceptable.
Right.
So there you go.
That's awesome.
So she ran just fast enough to get caught.
Again, I need to meet her.
She's quite the gal.
So those of you in the chat, just so you know, if I'm looking down here, I have Paige's questions here. If I'm looking to the side, this is where your live chat is. So if you have questions for me or questions for Paige, please put them all in caps. That way I don't miss anything. And let's see. Anything else I need to tell him, Paige? See, Paige?
I like long walks on the beach. No, we already covered. No.
Jason and Carlos is here too.
Yay, more men. Yes.
Paige was wondering if he was going to be the only guy here. Let's see. Carlos said, hello all. Thank you for this, Kasie and Paige. I live in Brussels, Belgium. Oh, I love Belgium. I don't know if I should say it here, but Belgian beer is my favorite.
You can say it here. There's certain Kentucky bourbons that I'm fond of as well.
Right.
Well, that's a nice thing about being Presbyterian.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Well, you don't have to pretend you don't know somebody when you see them in a liquor store.
That's funny. Candy wants to know, where did his background come from? I know.
Oh, this background?
Yes.
I have a young guitar student. His name is Elliot Taffin. He's 16 years old. He's a cartoon artist at 16 years old. He's been studying. His mother's an artist, very good artist. And he did something like this for me as a favor, just as a gift one Christmas. And so I've hired him to do all sorts of cartoon images of me for my blog, which I'll be starting up here in a couple months. And yeah, so he's 16 years old, and
Wow.
he's great. And then I just sent this off to, I don't know, what's that company that makes all these posters?
Vistaprint?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Vistaprint. Yes.
Great. Well, if he wants to make more money, maybe he should send us his if he has a Facebook page or something.
I would be glad to send his link out to anybody who wants
Okay.
it.
Yeah, if he doesn't mind, we'll put it in the bottom at the description when we're done.
He charges $25 per drawing.
Okay. There you go, guys. Great question, Candy. Let's see. I think that's all I have for now. Okay, so well, you already told us what you did before VIPKid.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your why? I don't think you said when VIPKid came about.
I teach at a church, Burn Hickory Baptist Church Academy,
Mm-hmm.
and teach music there. And one of my students' moms said, "You know you're nuts, right?" I said, "Yeah." Like,
Right.
That's not the first time a girl has said that to me. And she said, "You got to look into this VIPKid thing." And this is like 3 years ago. I'll be coming up my 3-year anniversary here soon. And it was the most frightening thing I've ever gone through. And I know, I'm serious. I love public speaking. I love being in front of people. I'm not scared of people. But that whole hiring process that VIPKid put me through just absolutely scared me to death. And
well, I heard it was tougher before because I've only been in less than a year. And now we can do it on our phones and everything.
Oh, it was, oh God, the most embarrassing part of it all. You know, they give you a slide. They give you like 10 slides for like a level 1 or level 2 kid. And then 10 slides for like a level 3, level 4 kid. And they want to see how you adapt in those situations. Well, I'm in the level 3, level 4 one. And it's about culture in China. And has all these cultural things, the Great Wall, the Temple of Heaven, the Forbidden City, and then the bird's nest. Well, it was a really bad picture, the bird's nest. So as I'm teaching this slide, I'm talking about this being a rookery on some island off because I'm just making stuff up off the top of my head because I don't know what this is. And and the teacher who was pretending to be the student kept saying stuff like, "It's a rookery? Yeah, it's a rookery off some island off of China."
I have no idea.
I have no idea what it was. And then at the end, she's giving me, she's critiquing me. Says, "You can do better on that second group. And by the way, that's a stadium, the rookery." I said, "Well, it looks like it had birds on it."
It does look like a big bird's nest.
Yes.
Hey, and Teacher Daniel's here. See, Paige, I told you guys.
More guys. I'm digging it.
Daniel, he said he agrees that the hiring process was a little intimidating. Yeah, but now luckily you have like the mock classes that you can practice all the slides and everything ahead of time. So
yeah, they've smoothed things out a little bit since then.
So really quick, I want to give a shout out. Evelyn Joy is here. Amy Lou, Teacher Renee, Jason. Let's see, who am I missing? Oh, Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie. Amy Lou, I said. Carlos, Jessica. Jessica said she lives in South Carolina. Carlos, Candy. Laura H. Hey, Laura. Teacher Daniel. Oh, and there's Tim. See that page? Now you have I think there's just about the same amount of guys and girls now.
All right. All right. We can survive.
All right. Paige is good now. There's a bunch of guys here. So what does your VIPKid schedule look like?
I can show you. Hang on a second. Let me just pull it up here for kicks, screens, and giggles. I'm booked up really solid. I've discovered I can be as booked up as I want to be.
Nice.
Right now, let's see, bookings. There we go. And I'll give you a share screen thing so you can see what it looks like this week. Okay, here we are.
So you have 2 screens. See, I need to be able to do that. I'm always afraid to leave the screen that I'm on. And that's why, like tech, I always worry about tech.
All right, this is my week. This week.
Very good.
And I've got 8 classes a day, 6 days a week. These 3 that are blued out, that's actually very unusual for me. I'm usually booked up, packed solid. But I guess this is a holiday time in China of some kind.
Yeah. Butterfly, that's so cute.
Oh my gosh. I had two students back to back once, and I guess I'm not the only one that had this. P-I-P-I-P-P
Yeah.
and D-O-D-O, which I tried to pronounce do-do
Yeah.
with maybe a slight French do-do, French thing. And she says, no, Teacher Paige, do-do.
Doo-doo. Yeah. So you had pee-pee and doo-doo.
Back to back.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Let's see. I've had a couple guys reach out to me about VIPKid, but they tend to freak out with level 2. How can I encourage them to give it a try?
With me, level 2 was my jam for the first year and a half, 2 years. Then as my kids started growing into level 3, 4, 5, 6, I started following them, and I get less and less level 2s. The schedule you just saw were all regulars. There are no new students. I mean, they're all students that book me up almost every week at the same time.
Yeah.
But when I first started doing level 2, I was freaked out by them because I don't do littles.
Yeah.
They scare me. But if you can get it out of your head that you're not there to teach English. Yeah, I know this is an English as second language, but you're there to teach them to converse in English.
Mm-hmm.
So at level 2, it's almost all repetition.
Yeah.
It actually is quite easy. So instead of saying Mike ate, you say, read this. Mike ate a cake. You would say, QQ, Mike ate a cake. Mike ate a cake. You say it.
Yeah.
And they'll repeat it. So it's learning begins with repetition. And that's almost what all of level 2 is. Now, as you start getting toward the end of level 2, you start to get them with they were starting to remember some of the sentences. Start will answer, yes, Teacher Paige, Mike ate the cake. And then level 3 and level 4, conversation starts to happen.
Yeah.
Level 1 and 2, it's show and tell, have a couple puppets, and be as goofy as you feel you need to be. You will not be too goofy for these kids.
Right. For level 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Tim said, okay, so Rebecca probably saw that. Tim said you can send them to his channel. He's got an all dude channel. I have taught a pee-pee before. He had to go pee-pee at least once. And Candy said she's not a fan of the littles either. She is a high school teacher, so she prefers the older kids too.
Well, my favorite age group to teach music to is middle school, high school, because middle school's age kids are cool because you can still frighten them a little bit. And high school kids are cool because if they start pulling out their I'm smarter than you card, I can bury them and they dig it.
Right. I think Kristen from Kristen's classroom, I think she's a K through 8 music teacher. I know she has kindergarten because we've talked about it because I'm a kindergarten teacher. So let's see. Do you write long, detailed feedback? That's from Sheer F.
That's a great question. I used to, until I got like 50 students a week. I'm going, when I first started out, I get like 2 students, then a break, and another student, then a break, because there's lots of holes. And as you're getting started, it takes a while to get off. And so I wrote novelettes of feedback. And then I started to do the feedback panda thing, tried to do that, but it just didn't click with me. It just felt, I didn't like it. It just didn't work for me. And so now what I do is I do verbal feedback at the end of each lesson. Like, Owen, today is great. You read really well. I loved how you told me the story about the elephant, the lion, and the zebra. That was great. But
I just did that one.
Yeah, I know. And the elephant cried because it thought the lion had eaten its ears in his trunk. And so I'll give verbal feedback. And then what I almost always do, I'll start off with Owen did great today. Mm-hmm. And then I'll say something like, today we read about more animals in the plains. The lions, zebras, hit the highlights. And I'll say, he did really well at the story, but he's struggling a little bit. I'd like him to read that story to you again.
Okay.
And then I always close off with, thank you for booking me as his teacher, Teacher Paige. And so even if it's a difficult student, I don't go too much into negative stuff in the feedback because an old-timey VIPKid teacher at the time told me, says, what these kids here don't need another teacher. They need someone that can be friendly enough that they can relate to and talk to, because they can't talk to their teachers in their schools like they can talk to you.
True. Yeah.
So that connection is so important. And so, and William Hayes, he said it the other day in a conference call, he said, kids will rebel against a student, but they won't rebel against a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always keep it upbeat and friendly. I've had to lay the hammer down a couple of times with some of my, because boys are boys, no matter where they live. This one kid was slapping his mama.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Look, it gave me chills again. Oh,
I know it. And I just said,
jump through that screen, man.
I know, right? I had to put on my Teacher Paige face and CJ, don't disrespect your mother. Sit down. We have class. And he sits down, and the mother leaves the room. She goes. So apparently that was the right thing to do.
Right. William will be on here on Thursday, and then Teacher Michael on Friday. So I have a whole week of all men VIPKid teachers.
All guys, all the time.
All guys, all week. So that's fun. I was going to say, share for feedback. The collaboration station is meeting at 3:00 Eastern today. We're going to talk about all things feedback. So teacher to teacher, student feedback, apples, what to do if you get negative feedback, all the feedbacks we can think of. So come join us for that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Except I got a negative Apple feedback, but we'll tell you that on another day. It was invalidated, but.
Oh, I've been teaching 3 weeks, and I had 10 total classes, and I got a 1 Apple, which threw me so far down, and it takes you so long to get back. And the mother's feedback was not suitable for young children.
Oh.
I had no idea what she was talking about, but apparently I've never seen that student since.
Was it invalidated, or did you not try?
No, it was not invalidated.
Oh.
I put it in, but they said, you went right over and I sucked. So, you got to call it when you see it.
Yeah. And this one had nothing to do with me. That's the weird part. It was all about VIPKid.
Oh, yeah. I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you about that another time. So what is your favorite level to teach? And then I would love for you to show them the slide and the song that you made.
Oh, of course. My favorite level to teach now is probably, 5 or 6. Because by the time the kids get there, they're talking, they're conversing. And there's like several corners a kid turns that are really highlight moments. The first one is when they start repeating perfectly well. The second is when they remember a sentence from like 8 slides ago and throw it back at you without you asking them. That's cool. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing that happens is when they start to joke with you.
Yeah.
Because joking is a high level of comprehension in English. Mm-hmm. And the first time I had this one kid joke with me, it was just, it blew me out of my chair because I went, Owen, you just made a joke. He said, yeah.
Cute.
We're communicating. Uh-huh. So and I like level 6 because they're starting to get into upper level science things and like outer space and planets and climate and the all these really techie type things, which I'm just a total nerd about. And so I'm able to, I love having detailed conversations. There's sometimes I put the slides aside and we'll take a subject like this one kid wanted to know why people couldn't live on Mercury. Oh. So we spent 10 minutes talking about why Mercury is uninhabitable. I said, what does your science teacher tell you about Mercury? And he'd say, the atmosphere ain't up a blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, well, can you breathe ammonia? No. He just starts laughing. But that's, 5 and 6 are my favorites. 2s, I get a level 2 thrown at me every now and again. And it throws me off my stride now because I'm used to the kid understanding what comes out of my mouth. But these 2s, they're not so sure yet. And I have to really dial it back and look at the left-hand side of the slide and it says, use teacher speaks, student repeats. I went, okay, we can do that.
So can you show them an example of what you do in your classroom? I had a question for it, but.
I have a degree in music composition, and I've been a professional musician almost all my life. And so writing songs is is not that big a deal for me. And so I take those skills and apply it to this. Sometimes it's, I I'm performing for the family. Sometimes it's getting them to pronounce a word. But like this one, let me pull up the screen share thing.
You guys are going to love this. I already got to hear it. We practiced.
All right, this is a song in one of our slides called The Worm. And the minute I see that, I'm going to go. And I did this yesterday, I think, totally without practicing. It was cool how it happened. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly Woo. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and all that he can do is wiggle all day, wiggle all night. The neighbors say, what a terrible fright. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly, wig, wig, wiggly, wig, wig, wiggly woo. Ta-da!
Ta-da! I love it. See, that is a whole element that you can bring that not every teacher can. I can be goofy, but I'm not good with the music.
Well, thank you. I love it.
God, I love listening to it. I could listen to it all the time. Let's see. So he's right. Jokes are the best. Upper level is more like you are interviewing them.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. Jason said, I love level 6 too. However, I just started 7 and 7 might be my new favorite. I've never had a 7 yet. I'm certified, but I haven't had it yet.
I tried to get certified for it, but the window always keeps closing.
Oh. Oh, you know what you can do? As soon as it opens, just hit apply, and then you don't have to apply right away.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good call.
Little trick somebody told me a while ago. So, oh, they're clapping for you. Awesome. Love this. Yay. Hey, Cindy and Ellen. And anybody else that I didn't say hi to. Hi, thanks for coming.
Oh, and I will surprise them, like during Christmas time. Well, they're expecting Christmas songs.
Uh-huh.
With that song, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. I'll go, chipmunks roasting on an open fire. Their screams are wafting through the air. I only do this for my level 6 because my level 2s will start crying.
Right?
Their eyeballs popping, their little bodies flopping. Nobody seems to care. Aww. That Alvin and his little chipmunk friends won't be singing for us tonight, because their tails are all ablaze, their bodies stretched across my plate. Merry Christmas tonight. I popped that out for one of my Chinese families, and the mother's sitting behind the son going,
Yes, upper level boys, man. I bet they just love you. That is great. Oh,
all my farters though are level 3s.
All your farters are level 3?
Yeah, because that's middle school, and that's when you start to discover body noises.
Yes. Yeah. I have a level 1 that burps through the whole class, but he eats and drinks through the whole class too. So whatever, we go with it. He's always like repeating, and he's eating corn on the cob like 90% of the time. He's like repeating. Yes. And he drinks. He's like making these slurping noises.
I have this one girl. I said, "I'll wait until you finish eating." She says, "Teacher Paige, yes, it's a really big bag of chips." I get all the clowns. I think I seem to attract the clowns. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Candy said she can play the flute and piano, but your guitar playing is next level. On the warm-up songs, do you play your guitar?
Oh, yes. It's like, especially level 2s, it's like, hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? I'm fine, fine, fine. I'm fine, fine, fine. I kind of miss that song. Which
one did I have today? The one that's okay at the end. I can't think.
Oh, some of them are just so dumb. I mean, so some of them are just awkward.
They're not lively and getting the kid ready and excited. Paige, you should like level up the level 2 songs for us. Like go through them and level them up.
It's funny. I actually approached VIPKid about doing that, and they said, "Don't bother." But I just think I just hit some flunky in the bureaucracy because my production wasn't great. But yeah, we could do better, couldn't we?
I think so. Yeah, because some of them I'm just like, let's move it. Okay, next. Or like lamb chops play along.
Oh yes.
She's ew. Thrive with Mary said I have one that picks their nose all the time, every class. Oh yeah. He is like Mr. Rogers and Romper's Room.
Oh, that's high praise.
I wish I had an ounce of musical talent. Or like lamb chops play along. I don't know lamb chops play along.
Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm teaching a VIPKid teacher right now to play ukulele.
Oh, fun.
Ukulele is really easy. Guitar can be a challenge, but ukulele, if there's any teachers out there that want lessons, I give virtual ukulele lessons.
Oh, fun. I have a ukulele, but it's my husband's.
Yeah, so this is a piece of cake to play.
Oh, I love listening to music.
So if anybody out there wants ukulele lessons, they can get a hold of me.
Great.
Have their people call my people.
Where do they find you, Paige?
They can find me on Facebook, Paige, Paige, Garwood, Garwood. You can search for me and find me on YouTube. Let's see, where is YouTube?
I don't know that I knew you had a channel. I have to put it in the description box.
YouTube, let's see. Let me go find my channel here. There we are. My channel. And it's got lots of playlists on it. I have stuff for my private students. I have ukulele videos, guitar things, composing things, VIPKid things, Bible talk where I pretend I'm a preacher, and that's where I get that out of my system. Uh-huh. And and then I have like a goofy set list of just songs that I've done that are just really dumb.
Carlos wants to know if you do harmonica lessons.
Oh, I wish I could play harmonica. No.
Nope, sorry, Carlos. She said you don't know Sherry and lamb chop. Okay, I think I do now that I can remember a woman and a little lamb with her, right?
Yep.
Okay. There is a level 2 song about a brown chair in my house or something, and it is terrible. Oh yeah. Green grass.
If somebody wanted to, if they could capture the slide and send me this slide, I'll be glad to put it to music and record it somehow and put it up in my YouTube VIPKid channel.
Man, I could snap those for you. I have level 2s for days.
Okay, well send me the songs and I'll start cranking them out. That'll be easy.
That would be so much fun. So what is your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching, and this goes with music, VIPKid, anything, is that aha moment when the kid gets it, and all of a sudden, like I start off at the beginning with level 2s. I don't tell them what first person is, second person is, third person is. I just go, I run, you run, rerun, they run. He, she, it runs. Right. And that becomes a mantra. Every time a new verb, before we even get to the slide that does it, I'll go, eat, I eat, you eat, we eat, they eat, he, she, it eats. And then all of a sudden, we'll get in a level 3 someplace or level 4, and they'll start introducing the term first person, second person, third person. They said, Teacher Paige, what's that? I said, you already know it. And I run through it, and they go, oh. Oh. So my favorite is that aha moment when there's a moment of just like, well, you see everything clicking. Yeah. That's the coolest part.
Yeah, those are definitely great victories. Love it. I don't know how to say dulcimer.
Dulcimer. Yep.
She said, can he teach the dulcimer? Man, I am feeling not very smart today.
I do not know how to play the dulcimer.
What is it?
It's a mountain instrument. It's an Appalachian instrument. comes out of the mountains of Kentucky and Tennessee and whatnot, and it's a beautiful instrument. There's several different varieties of them. There's a dulcimer you lay in your lap and you play with a quill or a pick. And then there's a dulcimer, a hammer dulcimer, that you play with hammers.
Oh, I just looked it up. Am I the only one that didn't know what that is? Somebody tell me in the chat box. I guess I could show you. It kind of looks like that Chinese instrument
zither.
that my student plays. I guess
Yes.
that wasn't a very good picture of it.
The one on the left that you showed is the one that I could probably do if I had one in my, because it's not that difficult to play.
Okay, here's a better picture in case you didn't see them.
Oh yeah, those are gorgeous.
Wow, I have never heard of that before. Amy Lou said she was gifted one. Oh, wow.
Which one was it? Was it the tall, skinny one, or was it the hammer dulcimer?
Oh, I don't know. Let us know in the chat, Amy Lou. Candy said, I wish Paige could explain the Wishy-Washer Woman or Teddy Bear. I have never heard of these songs. Oh, I know that one. Dun, 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 dun. Right?
Let's see. Is that the Wishy-Washy Washer Woman?
Yeah. I have the slide I can do.
If I could hear it once, if I could hear it once, I can make it happen.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. We'll have to get that one out to you.
Yes.
Amy Lou said she was gifted the tall, skinny one.
Okay, that's not hard to play, but I'd have to reacquaint myself with it. It's been a lot of years.
Oh, that's so neat. Man, I'm learning all kinds of things today. Love it. Let's see. I think I already know the answer to this, but what are your favorite props and rewards?
Well, you already know.
I do because I have already asked you this, but your 14 friends in the chat do not.
I don't use secondary awards. I don't use boards. I don't use pictures. My awards are my friends that come out to play. QQ, hi.
And then, of course, there's Kermit.
And of course, it wouldn't be the same without Dino. Yay! And sometimes they'll come out and they'll demonstrate like pushing. Mm-hmm. Kermit, stop pushing. Dino, stop pushing. Whatever. Ha! And the minute one hits the other one, they all just break up laughing. That is the absolute. When I first started, I had like fistfuls of things all around me, and by the time my class day was over, it was like a tornado went through and just spewed everything everywhere. And
Guilty.
So now, yeah. So just these 3 stuffed animals, well, occasionally, Captain America Potato Head will come out. And I have a Yoda potato head that shows up occasionally.
Yoda.
Teach him Chinese, I will know.
So yeah, but that's pretty much it. Those are the only props I use. And then of course my guitar and the ukulele.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids are musical, and we'll trade. If I know I have this one kid. He plays a Bansuri flute, a wooden flute, Chinese flute.
Oh wow.
Oh my word, he is like concert level.
Wow.
Loudest, and we'll trade songs back and forth. He played a Bach piece the other day, and when I picked up my guitar and went, he went, he started vibrating. He got his flute out and he played with me.
Oh, I love it.
So it's so yeah, my music, I'm my biggest prop. I get one of our guys said that says you're your biggest prop.
Right?
And that's me.
I do use my whiteboard a lot, but like I said, I'm a kindergarten teacher, so I'm used to having all of my stuff.
Now, you went to college and actually worked in brick and mortar classrooms?
Yes.
See, that's a difference because I've never worked a brick and mortar classroom in my life.
Yeah.
And I've got a master's degree in education.
Oh, okay.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm big in the homeschool community in Metro Atlanta, and they have a couple academies where the kids will go 1 or 2 days a week, and then the rest of the week they stay home. And but that's the closest I've ever gotten to a brick and mortar. So I've never learned the classical way of dealing with room control or student control. I just threaten them. And
I was really good with classroom management. However, time management is not my best. I like to talk too much, as I'm sure most of you know. Let's see. Paige, is Dino a boy or a girl?
oh, for crying out loud. They're asking all the hard questions now. I don't know. It doesn't really show anything.
I should have known that you were going to go there. Between you and William.
Yeah, he's my bud. He's my bud. I think he's a guy because honestly, that's a dorky looking girl. And a guy can pull this look off. I think this is a guy. I think Dino's a guy. But,
They said Dino is not a dinosaur, even though some slides say he is. He is an alien.
oh,
And he is not a dinosaur. He is an alien. I have a whole slide about it, and I can't remember it
he's
all.
got pink cheeks, so maybe they want him to be a girl or be a her. I don't know. This is a mystery.
Man, research.
I know, right?
That would be a fun video. Let's find out. Let's find out our research.
There's that Saturday Night Live sketch about that one person. They spent like a whole 2 years trying to figure out if he was a she or she was a he because he dressed very unisex and you just about the time you figure, oh, she's a girl, he would do something guy-like. And so it's like they spent like after 2.5 years, they finally said, and now tonight we're going to tell you if he's a she or she's a he. And Pat is a, and then they went to commercial break and never came back. That was so ugly. I spent 3 years trying to figure out what Pat was.
Man, that's like YouTube clickbait.
I know it.
Oh my goodness, you guys are way too smart. I can't even pronounce these words in here. He is androgynous.
Androgynous.
Androgynous. Oh man, I'm gonna give up my day job.
Just spend some time with Mr. Webster. You'll be okay.
Right. I told you, kindergarten.
Androgynous. That's awesome.
Pat, that's Pat.
Yeah.
Hi everyone. Dino is a male, and that is weird. Cindy Bennett. Hey Cindy, glad you could join us. She said
maybe Dino's androgynous or androgynous. Dino is androgynous.
Androgynous.
You just gave me a new word for my vocabulary. This is awesome.
I need to go get a dictionary. Jason said, I live in West Virginia, and a lot of our music teachers will do the dulcimer during music class. Man, I feel like I am so out of the loop. He has a sister. Aren't the pronouns male used for Dino?
They are when I teach it.
I think they use it for Dino a lot. He's always on the it slides.
Now I've actually had some students tell me that Dino's a girl, and some tell me Dino's a boy. So I think this is a mystery that VIPKid needs to put to rest.
Or maybe they just want everyone questioning it, like Pat. So Paige, are you tech savvy?
All right. I used to be. Before I came back to music in 2001, I was a satellite communications engineer. I designed networks. Me and my team designed the network that got the Sydney Olympics all around the world over all our satellites.
Oh, great.
So at that time, that was the peak and pinnacle of my tech savviness. And since that time, it's like tech has joined forces to defeat me. It's like I know why they call it a smartphone. It's a whole lot smarter than I am.
Right. Obviously, it's a whole lot smarter than me.
Yeah.
Laura?
So yeah, I don't consider myself. I'm becoming my dad. My dad and my mom drew a line in the sand beyond which they would not go. With my mom and dad, it was the Commodore 64 computer, which came out in the 90s, right? And mom and dad just thought it was the bee's knees. And my brother, who worked at Microsoft, kept sending them brand new, up current, state-of-the-art computers with all the latest some Microsoft software. And mom and dad would just stack them in a corner with a towel over them. They would not go past the Commodore 64. I'm getting to that point now. Should the iPhone ever get to the point where it becomes holographic? I think that's
You draw
where
the
I'll
line
stop.
with
I think I
holographic.
will. I'm going to wait for holographic though.
Wow, that's cool. Candy said she teaches the SAT and ACT prep classes, so she knows a lot of fun words. Thanks for making me feel better, Candy. Laura H said Dino is a boy. Level 3 calls it a him. Well, in Journey they said Dino is not a dinosaur, but there's slides that call him a dinosaur too.
Well, you know what? I think a lot of this was because in the very beginning, if you all remember back when I started 3 years ago, there was like 3 or 4 websites you had to go to do your job. There's a website you went to for tickets. There was a website you went to for bookings. There was a website you went to Hooton. You know, there's like at least 3 or 4 of these things. And they started consolidating, bringing everything down. Well, the reason they did that is because they had to become profitable, or they had to become functional before it was all ready to be functional. And so they would bring up pieces at a time. So they kept everything separate. Well, level 2 was separate from level 3, from level 4. Everything had its own little part of the VIPKid universe. And when they started joining it all together, it's like level 2 folks never talked to level 3 folks. So level 3 folks says, well, Dino must be a guy. And Journey people say, no, he's an alien. And no, he's a guy. He's an alien. He's a girl. It's
Okay. Laura sent proof.
he likes to his frisbee. Then it's settled. That's it.
There's our proof. That's awesome, Laura.
This is good to know. I'm really glad.
You're a boy.
I'm a guy.
Congratulations.
Now, if I could just do something about my stupid voice.
You're going to have to work on that page.
Hi, I'm Dino. I'm a guy.
Oh, funny. Wow, Laura, it's coming up on my phone, on my iPad, and my watch. Wow, you are popular. Let's see. Jason said the Dino on a train. AR sticker is the one thing that can always get my level 1s and 2s to focus back to the lesson.
Oh, that's how I close my lessons off.
Oh, I use the soccer one.
Where he's kicking the soccer ball and he comes out. I'll go, so long, I'll see you again. So long, I'll see you again. Bye-bye, dummy, bye-bye. Bye-bye, dummy, bye-bye. That's my goodbye song, almost all of it.
That's great. Let's see.
And heaven help me if I forget to do that song. Teacher Paige, do the song.
So I didn't even know that's a teacher-only sticker. And Dino comes on the screen. In case you don't know, it's a teacher-only sticker. Dino comes on the screen kicking a soccer ball, and it says bye-bye on it. So it's super cute. The Dino on the train, I'm trying to think. I know I must know it because I've played with all of them, but I'll have to look. Candy gave me another word to try to pronounce. I think she just likes me trying to pronounce these big words. I don't know where it went, Candy. Oh, defenestration?
Defenestration.
Defenestration? I need it phonetically spelled, please.
Hang on a second. Siri, what is defenestration?
Here's some information.
The act of throwing someone or something out of a window.
Candy, I should have known. You have to be careful with Candy, though. You never know what she's coming up with.
That is awesome.
You know, I've wanted to do an interview with Candy because we have no idea what she looks like, but she's always a lot of fun. But if she's going to make me say big words, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm the one for her. Oh, so much fun. Candy said they compartmentalized the different components. And Cindy said, that is so great. I want to play that. Let's see. My husband was like, you should ask him if he's ever played in a band.
Oh, yes. I was in, when I graduated from the Armed Forces School of Music, I played in the Show Band West. It was a blood, sweat, and tears, Tower Power, Chicago-style band that traveled up and down the West Coast. And I'm part of a bluegrass band here right now, and I've played with a couple blues bands and things of that nature. I'm pretty much semi-retired from gigging because I'm a bass player in these bands. Mm-hmm. and the gear is really stinking heavy.
Yeah.
And I'm just really stinking old.
You're so funny. I have to have my son watch this. My son and husband absolutely love music, and they're going to love listening to your songs and everything. So we should have you guys all play a jam for us one time. Let's see. We already know you incorporate music into your classroom. Can you tell us again, what instruments do you play?
I play ukulele, guitar, electric and acoustic. And I play electric bass and some upright bass. I play piano well enough to write music, but not well enough to perform. And but when I started out as a musician in school, I played clarinet, and then I switched to bassoon because in 8th grade I was such a dork. And 8th grade is when I started noticing that girls were pretty.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go out with one of them, strange little animals. And so I switched to bassoon because I thought the bassoon would somehow make me more attractive to the opposite sex. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
I told you before, I used to play the drums, and I played during basic training for the Air Force too. But when I was in high school, I played the drums and French horn. And I could not stand the French horn on my mouth.
Oh my gosh. I had to play tuba. I played tuba when I was in the Navy as well. And that big old mouthpiece, you generate a lot of spit when you play this thing.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I grew a mustache and a beard, because this big old mouthpiece would like slide all over my face because it's just all so slicked up with
And then you have
my...
all the red around here from playing so much and practicing.
Yep. Really attractive.
How many classes do you teach a month?
All right, let's see. 8 classes a day, 6 days a week, 48. 40 times 4 is 160 plus 32, 192 classes a month.
Okay. That's kind of like me. I was averaging about 220, but then I started cutting back, and
my sweet spot is 8 classes a day, and I give myself Sundays off because you got to have a day off.
Yeah. I don't have any days off yet. I'm kind of working towards that, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, the nice thing is that being a private music lesson teacher, my lessons go down in the summer. My income from lessons go down in the summer. So all I have to do is open up another block of hours for VIPKid, and if I opened up 10 more classes, they'd fill up. So VIPKid, once you get your base built of your regulars will pay your paycheck, and you can go. Now I could shrink it down, build it back up, depending on what else is going on in my life. VIPKid is the only gig I've got that I have that much confidence in. If I shut this down to 2 days a week for 2 months, and then came back after 2 months and open it back up again, I'd be booked again.
Now, do you think that's partly because you're a guy, or do you think that it's your classroom? I mean, I think it's all about your teaching style, but I know we've had discussions in other groups where some teachers think men have a better shot at getting bookings, or what do you think is your take on that?
Well, I know what everybody's saying.
Right, but what do you think? Because Tim and I have talked about it, and I think I've got my, we talked about this in the conference call. If you just be you, your tribe will find you. Yes.
Like there's certain type of kids out there that I don't gel with. Don't give me this attitude too cool for school stuff. Yeah. That'll throw me around the bend quicker than quick can go. But I have all my kids seem to be grouped around the same. They like it when I sing. They like how goofy I am. And I've discovered that this is the only backdrop I need. Like I had one that looked like yours. And but see, that's not me.
Right.
That's not me. Me doing me is this.
Yeah.
And Kermit and QQ and Dino and a ukulele. That's all I bring to the game. So I don't know if I'm book solid because I'm a man. I don't understand enough about Chinese culture to know if that would be true.
Right.
I know that many of the teachers in China are ladies, just like here in America. So I don't know. I know in a physical classroom, a man can be more intimidating and a man can be more forceful than a lot of ladies come off.
Or they can seem like it and then end up being the biggest teddy bears ever.
I suspect that's me.
Yeah. It's funny that people think that I'm a goofy teacher and I'm not. I love color. I love fun, but I'm actually more of a strict teacher. But yeah, I'm not big and goofy in classes. I want to be, but it's not, I get like focused on business. I think it's because I'm so worried about going off on a tangent and being too late. I don't know.
Well, I've discovered that once you get your groove on, once you really get a feel for how these slides go,
Mhm.
you could take a 5-minute hiatus
Yeah.
and make it up. You know, as you get to know your kids, that's also part of it. As you get to know your kids, like I know Owen, I've had Owen now for almost 3 years. So I know where his weak spots are. I know where his strengths are. So we just blow through the slides that he's good at and doesn't need any practice at. He's weak on reading. So he reads every slide, whether or not the slides say to have a student read. I'm going to make him read everything.
Right.
And so there's some give and take, and once you become more comfortable with the process, you just flow through it. There's really not an issue.
Right. Good. How many followers do you have?
Oh, for crying out loud, I never look.
That was like we all pulled up our phones that one day.
How many followers do I have? Hang on a second. Let me go find out. I want to say, I'm still not sure what it is. I know followers. This is parents who follow us. But I don't know what that means. Let's see. My info. Count center. Let's see here. My info. Stats. Is that it? Time slots? No. Parent feedback. Ooh, that's really down. Ooh. Count center. Where do you find followers? Is that on your cell phone?
Followers, I go to my cell phone.
Okay.
And when you go to account, I still have feedback to do. Don't judge. When I go to my account, I have 49. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. I have 49 followers.
I have 500. I don't know if you see that. Can you see that? 536.
Oh, nice.
I have but I don't know what that means. What does it mean?
That's how many people is it interested in taking your classes?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see. Where is your teaching space? Why do you have a black folding screen?
Because there's a messy bedroom behind that screen and you will not see it. It's my little hidey hole and I am a messy. I have a folding screen because I do not want you to see my bed and my messy book cabinet.
Candy said, do you use WeChat?
No, I don't. I suppose I could. I've just never been. I've only got about 2 families that chat with me, and they send me emails.
Oh, nice.
So we just email back and forth.
Cindy wants to know about your background too. She missed that. Can you give a shout out to your 16-year-old student? Yeah.
Yeah. His name is Elliot Taffin. And he is on Facebook, and his mother is on Facebook. He's a guitar student of mine, and he's been studying art since he was like 9. And he's taken some online courses, and now he's focusing on cartoon art, and he does caricatures. He does a really great job.
Yeah. And Paige said he's going to give us the link to find him. And he charges, he thinks $25
About $25 a drawing, yeah.
And then you can take it to Vistaprint and have them make like the banner.
Or if you're in Minicam, you can just pull the JPEG in and use it as a backdrop or something.
Great. So we'll add his link to the bottom of the descriptions. Let's see. I love Paige's background poster. Yes. Cindy's guitar student. Sorry, I'm going through really quick. Look for the flowers. I have the same foldable screen that I bought from Amazon. I use it when I teach from a hotel. That's from Jason. Jason, do you teach from the hotel a lot? I taught 33 classes in a hotel on one weekend one time.
Whoa.
When I was first getting started. Actually, it was the week before Journey. I had a retirement party. So I ended up going to Ohio and working in the hotel room. So, okay, let's see. Oh, you already introduced us to Kermit. Yay. I think that is it for the questions, except for the last 3 questions. If you have any other questions for Paige, please put them in the live chat. And Paige, what do you think are qualities of a good teacher? I didn't send him the last 3 questions. I just assumed you knew them. No, I'm just kidding.
I personally believe a teacher, for me anyway, is about 50% stand-up comic and 50% professor. You have to, it's especially if I'm in a classroom of 15, 20 kids, I'm there to cajole them into learning. My teaching style has never been, I will never feed you the answers. It's very Socratic. I'm going to make you give me the answer, and I will ask questions until you give me the answer. So even if, like with I had a student today, she just wasn't understanding it, and that's why I said, read the word. What was it? I can't remember what it was. Let's say the word was dog. Read the word dog, and I'd underline it. Then I'd circle it. I'd put arrows to it. I would never say the word dog other than that very first question.
Right.
And then being the comic part is that's just part of my nature, I suppose, but it breaks the ice. And I love William Harris's approach to stuff. It makes it non-threatening. And the kids, like I trick my kids into learning English.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like I teach my music students into learning music theory. The minute you say music theory, their eyes glass over and they're just, and so I trick them into learning music theory, and then I'll ask them a music theory question, and then they'll answer it out of what we just studied. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said you didn't know any music theory." Oh my.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great. Kelly said she's the same. She doesn't give them the answers either. Hey, Danny, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I don't give answers either. Got to work for it. What are your goals? What are your future goals?
Well, to get to the point where I can actually take long walks on the beach.
Come visit me. It's right down the road. You can
Where are you?
I'm in Panama City, Florida.
Ooh. Huh.
What?
That's a nice place.
Yeah, we were stationed here. We
Oh.
are stationed here, so yeah.
Oh, are you an Air Force family?
We're not military anymore. We were, but we both worked for the military, and now I'm out working for VIPKid, and my husband's still working for the military. So.
Well, my ultimate goal, I went back to college at the age of 56.
Okay.
And I got my bachelor's degree in human services, which is a stupid degree because it doesn't, but the purpose of undergrad degrees is to I don't know what the purpose is actually, except there's 4 years you got to do so you can do the 2-year master's degree thing. But then I went and got master's education and then master's degree in music composition. And I graduated from Vermont College of Fine Arts at the age of 60. So I got all my college education between the ages of 56 and 60. And my ultimate goal is to establish myself online as a music instructor. I'm a composer. I've composed music for dance companies, for choirs. I'm an absolute nerd about medieval choral music. Me and 5 people in America are interested in that. It's a small but select crowd.
Right? But a creative crowd.
Yeah. So I'm a history nut. And so I always look at things through the lens of history. So I'm preparing a music composition course that studies music from the lens of history, from the medieval times forward, because it started off very, very simple. And then musicians tend to make things more complex as you go along. So between the medieval times and the 20th century is a fascinating arc. Music history nerds, sorry. But I like I said, if I can find 5 more people that want to learn that stuff.
There you go. That's interesting. Are you going to put it up on your YouTube or?
Yep. I actually have a website that was supposed to be launched in April, but then the virus thing hit. And I was also diagnosed with congestive heart failure. It sounds much more dire than it is. Obviously, I'm fine.
Right.
But It is a condition that isn't curable and will only get worse, but you can hold it back for decades. So I got plenty of life left in me. But going through that whole process, and I'm wrestling with afibrillation now. My heart has irregular heartbeat. I've had it shocked back into rhythm twice. It hasn't worked. Next thing is going to be an ablation where they thread a catheter up a vein into my heart and zap parts of my heart to death.
I remember you explaining it to me because I didn't understand last time.
It's a little creepy to think about.
Yeah.
But so all that put me back off my schedule a little bit, but it's, God's good. He's in charge. I'm okay with that. I'm glad I'm not in charge because I'd only screw it up.
You'll have to let us know when you do launch your website, and
I will
put all things on YouTube. We'll put your YouTube link at the bottom too.
Okay.
Here. So let's see. Oh, do you think you might sign up for OutSchool? I know they were looking for music teachers on OutSchool.
Okay, this is where I get dumb. What is
Yes!
OutSchool? Yes, we got him.
I can help.
What is OutSchool?
OutSchool is like so many VIPKid teachers are doing it right now. It's in the States. So you're a teacher in the States. From what I understand is you make your own hours and pay. All right, somebody explain it. There's videos all over YouTube about it.
That's the name of the program. OutSchool.
It's OutSchool, yes. If you decide to do it, you need to use one of our friends' links that are always around.
Okay.
But I know Teacher Kelly is doing it. Danny is doing it. But you make your own lesson plans and things. I'm not ready to go back and make my own lesson plans. I'm kind of spoiled right now not having to do it. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. She said thumbs up the live. Let's see. I got that done years ago. Oh, the ablation. Carlos said he got that done years ago.
Excellent.
Candy said you can teach whatever you like for OutSchool and you set your own fees.
Okay.
It's a pretty good avenue to maybe look at and research a little bit. So, because you can choose what you want. I know like Teacher Leah is teaching horse care on there.
Wow.
Teach music, anything you can think of. I guess you kind of let them know what you're thinking. And then that's it. She said it pays more than VIPKid.
Oh, dig that.
Good to know. Good to know. But there's tons of information out there. So all of, the teachers in the chat that I was mentioning, they all have videos and stuff up, or at least are getting started with them. So good. What's my last question? Oh, yeah. What is a favorite professional development or teaching resource that you like? Sorry, I didn't send it to him ahead of time.
Personal research. I use this all the time. Google is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any subject I want, if I'm really lazy, I'll turn to Siri. Siri, tell me about. Well, you talking about like personal development, like as a teacher, tools for make myself a better teacher?
Originally, that's what my plan was, but it's kind of like whatever kind of professional development you want to learn about.
I'm really, really, really big into since I feel I have a deficit in my teaching pedigree because I didn't go to college for teaching. I mean, I got my master's degree in education, but all my undergrad degree had nothing to do with that. Now, my son, he's an elementary school music teacher, and he has a recording studio that he produces stuff in. He said, "Yeah, Dad, you didn't get to learn all the classroom management stuff and all those skills that I learned in college, but you got something they don't have. You have mileage."
Oh, yeah.
You can't learn mileage.
Right.
And so I've discovered that I do a lot of things right by accident because I know what works. Mm-hmm. And basically all these teaching practices that they teach in school center on things that work. And apparently I'm doing some of that. So, but as far as extra stuff that I use to improve myself, I almost said I'm too busy to improve myself. That sounds stupid.
Like, for example, right now I'm trying to learn more about YouTube. So I just got this book, YouTube Secrets by Sean Cannell. So that's just kind of started with teaching, but then I'm like, I need to learn more about this, and then I'll go.
Well, I would totally recommend that teachers get over being scared of the tech, because if this COVID virus thing has taught us anything, first of all, I totally expect, and you heard it here first, I totally expect a lot of companies are going to be shutting down offices because they found out that people can work from home.
Yeah.
And that will save them dollars in rent and all that kind of stuff. I predict that some public school systems are going to go to a partial week schedule, like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then do virtual online stuff for homework assignments and things like that because of what we've learned, because of what we're going through.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of conflict out there about this virus thing, and who thinks who is stupid, and are you stupid if you wear a mask?
Right.
As a cardiac patient, I appreciate it when you wear a mask, because even if it's a flu, it can knock me out. Now,
Yeah.
So I honestly think that we need to. And my master's degree its focus was on online learning. So I learned a lot of different platforms and stuff like that, because that's the future. I mean, the old way of doing business doesn't work anymore.
Right.
And when I did my master's thesis on education, the topic was, does homeschooling have a seat at the table in discussing education reform? Really exciting subject of discussion. But the general opinion out there is that homeschoolers are ignorant and are damaging their children's education. That's the most ignorant stance you can make. And honestly, where it's worked best is when the public schools and homeschoolers have worked together.
Yeah.
And there's school districts now that are incorporating, like homeschool kids don't have access to computer labs. So the school district in Illinois says, well, come use our computer labs. We get money from the government because there's butts in the seat, and you get access to the modern equipment that you need, and you're still homeschooled.
Yeah. Our school on base was like that.
Yeah.
The homeschoolers would come in for specials like art, music, PE, and all of those things, and computer lab. Yeah, I think homeschooling is amazing. And there are some amazing homeschooling parents out there, but I do think it's not for everyone. I think I think some that homeschool don't homeschool. You know what I mean? But
well,
I think there are some amazing.
When I was doing my research, I found out that there's this whole crowd out there called unschoolers.
Oh.
Where it's child-propelled education. The child studies what the child wants to study, and the parent is totally hands-off. I know, right? I see that look. I'm going.
I'm trying to figure it all out. I have to process things.
I mean, if that had been put to me, I'd have been studying. I've been studying crayons and recess for all my academic career.
Right. Accurate predictions, Evelyn said. Hey, Evelyn. And Teacher Kelly said, yes, think about others. I know I'm not a cardiac patient, but I'm an asthmatic. So Evelyn and I were talking about this the other day. It's weird for me now. The other day I went to the store and I took my husband's car, and he doesn't have the masks in his car because he just brings his back and forth, where I have to leave mine in my truck so I never forget. But so I showed up to the store and I'm like, ooh, this is weird. I've been wearing a mask for so long, So I'm like, I'm not going near anybody. So, but yes, think of others and wear a mask. Let's see. I teach a homeschooled girl for SAT. She is way behind in higher level mathematics, like calculus. Danny said, I know some unschoolers. I have never heard of that. Well, I haven't heard of the term before.
Well, there's actually some studies out there that for a certain kind of kid, that's really great.
Like Montessori, right? Isn't that kind of like it's more kid-led?
If a child is really disciplined and they just have a real hunger and thirst for it, they're going to go all over the place. They're going to learn everything all at once.
Right.
And I know of one homeschooling family that did the unschooling thing, and their child's a junior at a very prestigious Ivy League college right now, and they're doing fine. So sometimes people use the unschooling thing as an excuse to not do anything. Right. And so I'm totally against that. But homeschooling should be a part of our education, and we need to set aside all the disparaging remarks and prejudices, because
Agreed.
it's up to, my grandchildren are being homeschooled, and my 10-year-old grandson could sit down there and school you on science.
I love science. Love it.
Maybe he couldn't school you then.
Well, maybe it could. Just because I love it doesn't mean I'm great at it. Let's see. Yes, what Paige said. Math is what scares me about high school. I may need you in the future, Candy. That's interesting. So I don't tell many people, but my my master's is in teaching mathematics,
Ooh.
but only through 8th grade. But when I was going through the courses, they said, go grab your kids' high school books. That's what you're going to be learning in this grade. So, but I couldn't remember like all the binary numbers and, you know, the clock math. I had to go back and relearn everything.
I feel your pain.
Right?
When I went back to college at 56, and I was obviously the oldest guy in the group, oldest person, period. And it was just like, I'm a dinosaur.
Mine was all online college.
Yep, mine was too.
Okay,
But I still had to spend a lot of time with the people in my group.
Right. In math and everything, the teacher was great. In my weather class, the teacher, if we asked a question, he would say, Google it. He never went, I still don't understand Stevia maps, Stevia maps. The professor was terrible.
Well, I love math, but I'm dyslexic. So I'll never give you the right answer.
Huh.
And I remember when I was getting my bachelor's degree, I had this one problem. I had this one page of homework to do, 18 problems. And I called the professor up and said, I've just spent 5 hours on the first problem, and I don't have the answer yet. She said, well, Paige, what's the problem? I said, well, I'm dyslexic. And she just went, oh. She said, can you tell me how to solve the problem? So I told her. She said, would you take an 85? I said, fat man dancing in the streets. Yes, ma'am, I will.
Yeah, sometimes I think coming up with how to find the solution is more important than actually
Well,
finding it.
math, the importance of math, and you know this, it isn't about the numbers. It's teaching you to think. It's problem solving.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can understand algebra and geometry, you know how to solve almost any problem you'll come up with if you will think about it.
Yeah.
So,
I love problem solving. Even in kindergarten, watching them problem solve and manipulate things and try to figure it out. It's so fun. I love it.
my daughter was very systematic, and my son, he was very gifted. He could say, let's see, what is 45 times 2? He would go, there's 3 apples on the table. It's a quarter moon. It's Thursday. Oh, the answer is 90. And he could just pull all these stupid little elements together and come up with an answer, intuit the answer. And he got poor grades in math because he never showed his work.
Oh, yeah.
Then he would mouth off. Is the answer right? The answer's right.
Yeah. I already know how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun. I love having you here today. It's been great.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for it.
Do you have a goodbye song or something we can listen to on the way out? Because I love your music.
Let's see. Let me see. I am a poor, wayfaring stranger, traveling through this world of woe. No dark clouds gather round me in that bright land through which I go. I'm going there to see my mother, going there no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home.
Yay! I love it. I'm going to your channel and listening to your music.
There's not a lot of good stuff there. Most of it's goofy, but I promise we're putting up good stuff later.
Yes. I want to be able to like just put stuff on while I'm like cleaning and just working and just listening to Paige play music.
Oh, awesome.
Yes,
That's my praise. Thank you.
so much, Paige. This has been a lot of fun. I appreciate
you.
you coming back for another interview.
I figure I survived the first one. I could survive the second one.
I'm not so bad, right? It's okay.
No, you're fine. I don't care what everybody else says about you. I think
Right.
you're great.
Ooh, I'm sure. All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming and interacting in the chat. They loved your music. They're giving you all shout outs here.
Woohoo!
So, yes. All right, Paige, I'll see you next time.
Good night. See you later. Bye.
Thank you.